Hello, my YouTube family, my YouTube friends. I have missed you dearly. I'm so excited to be recording another video because it's been like a week. And I'm just super excited about all of the engagement that I've been getting on this channel. It's definitely slow moving, but it feels just so organic, and it reminds me of like why I loved the internet in the first place, like just being able to kind of throw, yourself out there into the ethers and have somebody resonate with that call and return it in such a meaningful way. I really appreciate the comments. I appreciate the subscriptions, and I appreciate that you're strangers but still are finding time to hear me out because these types of things matter to you and are on your mind as well. So much love to y'all gang. I'm a little bit tired. I just started a new job. We'll probably talk about that in another video because it's a very mystical experience. But in part, some of the wisdom that I have to share from you came from that. And with that said, I'm going to jump right in. Okay, so the topic for today is how to change your perception of lack and enter into the void safely so that you can come out feeling fuller than ever, as told by children. Now, if y'all ever watched that show, As Told by Ginger, that's how I got the end bits of that, the little play on words. I loved that show, and it's perfectly fitting because it's a children's cartoon. And yeah, as I mentioned, the insight I gained, that's Emma. Come on in, Emma. She wants to lie down next to me. Oh, you saw her. The insight I gained was from kids. So again, we're going to try to keep this less than 10 minutes so that I can keep your attention and so that you guys can get the bulk of the message. So yeah, lack is a really uncomfortable feeling, right? Like there is this emptiness that seems to embody ourselves and kind of quakes within us. And sometimes that lack can be perceived as the emotion of anxiety. It can be perceived as the emotion of depression. It can be perceived as really anything that we attach or find reason to label that sense of emptiness, if you will, that helps us to understand why we might feel like hollow spiritually. But what I've come to learn throughout my life experience is instead of attaching these labels that have negative connotations onto this energy that we're sensing, it might be more useful. Emma wants to leave. It might be more useful to recognize that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, right? So what we perceive as emptiness, hold on. Pick a place, Emma. Pick a place. What we perceive as emptiness, go lie down. Go lie down. What we perceive as emptiness in actuality is just raw potential energy, right? That's that sensation that we're feeling, that radiation, because it's energy that has yet to have a name to it. And because other people can't decide for us or define for us what that energy means, they use words like depression, they use words like anxiety, they use words like emptiness, because that is what it is. Because when you think of a depression, all it is right, it's this like concave shape in something that is used to having definition, but that's not necessarily something to create stagnancy within your life that leads you feeling clueless or hopeless or like you don't have purpose. But it's just creating an opportunity for you to recognize that you have this new set of energies, or that you have a new awareness for an energy within you that requires some guidance for where it should go and how it should operate. Just like how our cells wait for cues and demands for what it should be. Before my red blood cell became a red blood cell, it needed the cue to know that's what it needed to be. So that emptiness that you feel is really the cue for you to pause, take a second, and recontextualize what it is that you're going through and what it is that you'd like to go through and how things in the past have affected where you're at now, so that we can simultaneously create new beginnings or create endings that will allow for new beginnings, or so that we can continue on a path or a decision that might just need a moment's reflection for refinement. So, with that said, how children come into play is at my job. I'm a school nurse, radical. I love it. It's exhausting. It's fulfilling. It's taught me so much about what it means to care for each other truly at our weakest, at our most vulnerable. And it's taught me so much about unconditional love. And it's taught me so much about programming, right? And anticipation and what expectations can do for somebody, and how to curate that so that we can create successful moments between one another in interactions. And one thing that I've noticed about the children is in between the moment of what they come to know they need and when they receive what they need, it's just filled with, play, make-believe, and a willingness to learn new things. And that's extremely inspiring. Like, out the womb, out the gate, we come here fully prepared to move on and evolve, while also recognizing that we have these desires and these yearnings, and those things can get fulfilled and will get fulfilled, but there's all of this downtime that might happen prior to that, and we can still be fully engaged in the moment and present in the moment up until that happens. It's gorgeous. So for us as adults, as grown little people who have our inner child, our inner children that still need to be catered to and still need comfort and love, tenderness, all of that, and most importantly, fun and excitement, it's really a value to us to take the time to, in those moments where we're feeling that sense of lack, either become fully present in the moment. And you can do different grounding exercises by planting your feet on the ground, looking around you, picking one thing in your environment that you see. Right now I'm looking at a microscope that my brother got me for Christmas, and that makes me feel good, just acknowledging and recognizing that. Or paying attention to my breath and taking in the sensations of my own body and allowing myself to fully feel the moment and not the anxiety of what I'm anticipating or what didn't go right or what I'm, hoping for to come. Those things are useful for us, right? Being fully present is a useful tactic to transmute what that energy can mean, going outside and observing, now I'm talking like the kids, observing your environment. Or one thing that I really like to do is go into that make-believe mode, If that job that you have isn't there yet, if that companionship you want or desire isn't there yet, if that house that you want and desire isn't there yet, whatever it is that you want but isn't there yet, when you enter into the process of make-believe and allowing yourself to just daydream and imagine what is to come, you'll find that the anxiety of not having it begins to lessen, because now you're in the mode of knowing that it's coming and getting to have preference and getting to specify exactly what that looks like. That's why games like Sims are so fulfilling for people. You get to create your own world. So instead of me feeling like, man, I'm exhausted from work, like, where's you know, that tender love and care that I desire. I can shift my sense of lack into a mode that allows me to imagine what it's going to be like when that does come, and how I want it to be, how I want to be able to receive my partner when I come home and I'm feeling this way, how I want them to receive me, and start getting excited about that, and how it'll feel to like finally have that thing come into fruition full circle, and kind of imagine like, wow, what is that future person doing in this moment? How are they preparing themselves and loving their lives? And what are the different ways that I want to shower them with my love and affection, and lean on them and depend on them? And like, I'm preparing this meal. I can't wait for them to try this recipe that I've made. Like, get into the knowingness that if that is something that you truly want, then it is something that you deserve, and it's coming to you. And just because it's not right there in front of your face, it doesn't mean that there aren't opportunities for you to recognize that there are other requirements that might need to be fulfilled before you get up into that point. And that's where that willingness to learn that I observed in children really gets to step into its power, because I had a young one who was waiting for their parents to come pick them up, and their parent was like, oh, I'll be there 20 minutes, you know? And me being an adult, 20 minutes is a concrete, you know, space of time based off of something that I've learned from somebody who told me what a minute means, right? But time is an illusion. So for that child, 20 minutes was just phrases and words. Up until that point, we were drawing, we were making up new games to play with each other. I was teaching them how to blow their nose properly, even though they couldn't get it right. They were willing to try, and that was so beautiful and adorable to see. And before you know it, their parent came to get them, and they didn't want that time in between to end, right? Like, that's how life should be. It should really be that fun. It should really feel like, man, like, I know this is what I said I wanted, but I'm still having so much fun in the now. That now I want to take what I learned from that time that I could have spent waiting and sulking and, you know, allowing myself to indulge in those feelings of lack, because we're addicted to it, because of the society that we live in has groomed us to be, so that they can sell us products, and so that we'll spend all of our time trying to, you know, follow down a path that makes others outside of ourselves enriched. You know, ooh, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Like I said, I'm a little bit sleepy, but yeah, all to say is we really are blessed to have this life experience, and that does not mean that it's going to come without its pitfalls, and that does not mean that you have to 100% stay positive. Like, that's such a fallacy to fuck anybody who makes you feel like if you're not happy all of the time that you are just ungrateful and don't know what you're doing with your life. No, it's about allowing yourself to feel those emotions, but not allowing those emotions to dictate ultimately what you're going to do with your time and your life and your energy, right? Potential energy can be used for anything. So decide what that potential is. And with that said, I'm going to let you go because Emma's trying to get in between my legs and cuddle. And I have some food that I'm going to make and eat and enjoy for me and everybody I love who wants me to be nourished and healthy. Shout out to La Portia for this beautiful shirt of, people understanding their roles. Good night, y'all. I love you guys so much. I'm extending all of the warmth and tenderness that I can, and I know you guys are sending it right back. So thank you. Thank you. Until next time.